Martin Truex Jr. says he's a couple of weeks away from deciding his future. Coming up next. What is going on, everyone? Hope you're having a good Tuesday. All right, Martin Truex talked to Bob Pockress and said he is a couple of weeks away from making a decision on his future. Let's take a look at this article from Bob Pockress on Fox Sports. Truex doesn't give any indication of which way he is leaning when he answers questions about his future, which come weekly. I think about it every day, Truex said Friday in some of the more extensive comments on the topic. We're working on it. I should know something soon. I'm taking it all into account. My whole life. All of racing, everything. He needs to know something soon because Joe Gibbs Racing needs to know something soon. Sponsors Bass Pro Shops and Auto Owners Insurance have strong ties to Truex, and if he returns, those sponsors most likely will return. The fact that it would be one of the most sought-after spots in the garage has everyone wondering. Anyone who works in the industry has wondered and speculated, what will Truex do? Everybody asks me, but I still don't have any news. I'll let you know when I find out. He uses some interesting phrasing there. He says, we're working on it, and he says, I'll let you know when I find out. That leads me to believe he's probably not leaning toward retirement, because if he's working on it, you wouldn't really have to work on anything to retire, I wouldn't imagine. And if he's waiting on someone else to give him news, that means he's waiting on somebody else to make a decision before he sort of makes his decision. So if you take it from that angle, if you take it from the aspect that you don't think he's going to retire, which from those comments, it seems like to me, he's not leaning toward retirement, let's look at his options going forward. Option number one, of course, would be Joe Gibbs Racing, but it seems like Joe Gibbs Racing is waiting on Martin Truex, so you wouldn't think that it's Martin Truex working with Joe Gibbs and getting stuff ironed out with Joe Gibbs, because it seems like Joe Gibbs is waiting on him. So I don't think he's actually thinking about necessarily, at least at the very top of his list, re-signing with Joe Gibbs. So I think right now, as it stands, he's waiting on somebody other than Joe Gibbs, and Joe Gibbs might either be a secondary plan or retirement might be a secondary plan. So let's look at the open seats that he possibly could fill if he's not going back to Joe Gibbs. So the most obvious of those would be the number 10 Stewart-Haas racing car currently driven by Aric Almirola. That would slot in another veteran with your two younger guys of Cole Custer and Chase Briscoe. That would give you two veterans in Kevin Harvick and Martin Truex. And that would be a good fit, it seems like. I think Stewart-Haas Racing and Tony Stewart are definitely high on Martin Truex Jr. I'm pretty sure Kevin Harvick's pretty high on him. And I mean, how could you not be? 31 wins, 2017 NASCAR champion. But is that a direction Ford or Dodge, if you believe the Dodge rumors that Dodge and Stewart-Haas are going to link up in 2024, is a veteran the direction that they would want to move in? If you're Ford, I would think Ford is probably trying to get younger right now, much like Hendrick did. So I don't know if Ford would want to move in that direction, but it is interesting if Dodge is going to link up with Stewart-Haas in 2024. Would they want a veteran like Truex? Would Truex stay around until 2024? So that seems like just a lot of stuff going on there, but also take into account that Stewart-Haas is having sort of a down year, other than Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe's run really well, but currently right now Kevin Harvick is out of the points. Aric Almirola, I think, is the second to last or last man in on points right now if the playoffs started today or whatever. So once again, and Cole Custer has just had he's had some good runs, but he's had some absolutely terrible luck. He has not had any finishes to show for the speed he's had. So Stewart-Haas not having the year that they had hoped for, obviously, with this new car. So is that a situation Martin Truex would be wanting to go into is another question you'd have to ask. And I would have to say probably not. Which leads me back to his comments, I'm working on it, and I'll let you know when I find out. Well, there is one other option that's a big option that a lot of people have been talking about, and once again, it's silly season, it's a rumor, it's conjecture, but it is out there. Is Junior Motorsports going to move up? Are they going to, pair with that Spire team, and will they fill that Chip Ganassi Racing building that Rick Hendrick bought when Chip Ganassi went out of business? Is that going to be the move that they make? Is Junior Motorsports going to move up, and is Martin Truex going to be their driver? Is that who he's waiting on? Is that who he's working with? Is he going to be that junior motorsports driver? Of course, he's driven for Dale Jr. for a long time. He drove for Dale Jr. in the Chance 2 car, the Chance 2 Motorsports car, before Chance 2 basically dissolved, and obviously Kelly and Dale Jr. made Junior Motorsports. So are Dale and Kelly looking at moving up to Cup, and is Martin Truex sort of going to be their veteran driver that they move up to Cup with? I think that's definitely on the table, because Adam Stern reported last week that teams were still looking at buying charters, and I think it is Junior Motorsports that's still looking at buying this charter, because Denny Hamlin recently came out with comments saying that 23XI has no immediate plans to expand in the very near future. So that takes 23XI out of the race for buying a charter. So that leaves Junior Motorsports as the only confirmed team that we know of looking for a charter. So that would sort of line up and make sense that Martin Truex Jr. could possibly be waiting on Dale Jr. and Kelly to see if they're going to move up to Cup, and he would be their first Cup Series driver. Now, that's all silly season, gossip and conjecture. But one thing is for sure, whenever Martin Truex Jr. makes his decision, he will be a big domino in this, and I think things will start to move rapidly, because I think once Martin Truex makes his decision, other decisions will rapidly follow after that. So we will see very quickly, I think, silly season take off once Martin Truex makes his decision, because within 2 weeks we could possibly know if Junior Motorsports is coming into Cup or if they're not. And we will, in a couple of weeks, know if Martin Truex is going to retire or go wherever he is going to go. So I think silly season is about to heat up for sure. But that is all I've got for you. If you made it this far, I would really appreciate your subscription. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.